The last 100 years of the Middle East were painted bloody red with weapons. The failure to share resources such as fertile agricultural lands, mines, oil and water, ethnic and sectarian differences, mass interests, and many other things were the reasons for the flame of war that suddenly flared up. One of the reasons for the endless war in the region is the desire of the great powers to dominate the region. The Middle East, under the rule of the Ottoman Turks, was reshaped after the First World War under the mandate of Europeans, especially the British. However, both the wrong moves and the shaking of Europe by the Second World War led to a change in the dominant powers in the Middle East. The USA rolled up its sleeves to have a say in the Middle East. It entered into a struggle for the region with the Soviet Union and its successor, Russia. Later, Silent Hand China would also take part in this struggle. One of the basic principles of the US's policy of domination in the Middle East is to strengthen Israel, the West's outpost in the region. Israel has undertaken a mission similar to the mission of the Crusaders in the Middle East in the 12th and 13th centuries. In addition to holding on and spreading in the region, it is the guarantee of the presence of the USA and Europe in the region. By paving the way for the Margrave Israel, the USA intends to redraw the map drawn by others in a way that will be in its favor with the Greater Middle East project. This has led to wars that will last for years and continues to do so. The establishment of a four-part Kurdistan is in question to ensure Israel's security, create a new ally for it, and weaken regional powers. The first decisive military step on this issue was taken after the invasion of Iraq in 2003. An autonomous Kurdish state was established in the north of Iraq. The second big step was taken with the Syrian Civil War. Syria, ruled by Bashar Assad's ancestral regime, began to shake under the influence of the so-called Arab Spring. In 2011, a de facto civil war broke out in the country. Blood flowed in droves. Millions of people either died or left their homeland. Opponents of the regime could not overthrow the Damascus regime and achieve their goals. Even though Bashar Assad suffered great losses, he remained in power with the support of Iran and Russia. He maintained, at least partially, control over Damascus and its surroundings. The same cannot be said for the east of the Euphrates River and the north of Syria. Syrian Democratic Forces, which is the foundation of YPG/PYD, an extension of the Kurdish separatist terrorist organization PKK in the east of the Euphrates, declared autonomous administration. This structure is trying to become official under the auspices of Israel and the USA, and with the connivance of Russia. The main group of Assad opponents is the Free Syrian Army, formerly known as the Syrian National Army. This group operates in Afrin, Tel Abyad, Kreablus, and Ras Al Ain, where Turkey has a military presence. There's also an opposition group called jihadists, or radical Islamists. This group is located in Idlib and its surroundings, where 3,500,000 people live, and holds the administration under the name of the National Liberation Government. The driving military force of the administration here is Hayat Tahrir al-Sham, or HTS, led by Abu Muhammad al-Julani. Al-Julani was the Syrian representative of Daesh and participated in the Syrian Civil War with the al-Nusra organization. Later, the organization swore allegiance to al-Qaeda, which is Sunni, although HTS reorganized under the name HTS in 2017 and announced that it had severed its ties with Al-Qaeda. The organic bond between the two organizations continues. HTS is considered a terrorist organization by Turkey and many countries. Despite this, it is in close contact with some opposition groups supported by Turkey. The red line of all the mentioned groups is Aleppo. Aleppo is the most important center of the region, with its connection between Anatolia and Syria, its facilities, its location at the crossroads, its historical importance, and its ease of access to the sea. Although it changed hands several times during the Civil War, it has been in the hands of the Assad regime since 2016. The Moscow Memorandum signed between Turkey and Russia in 2020 also strengthened Assad's presence here and ensured a partial conflict-free environment. The situation in northern Syria had been like this for a long time, and the civil war seemed to have died down. But what happened in Gaza in 2023 confused the Middle East again. After Hamas's attack on Israel in October 2023, Israel became very aggressive and committed massacres in Gaza. The events shook things up on a regional scale. Iran and Israel began to conflict through proxy forces. Of course, Syria was also affected by this situation. Israel's dominance over Iran and the Shiite group Hezbollah supports in Lebanon has reduced the effectiveness of Iran-backed groups in Syria. Iran lost power and prestige. Russia, Syria's other protector, is dealing with the Ukrainian war. Putin is in a position to request troops from North Korea, and perhaps he is having difficulty in Ukraine. Another blow to Syria, whose two protectors were in trouble, came from Israel. Israel bombed the south of the country under some pretext. The opposition in the north also began to mobilize again. Assad was on edge again after many years. One of the main reasons for his mobility is the presidential election process in the USA. Trump, who promised to withdraw from Syria, won the elections. The process of change in power will shift the US's focus away from the region for a certain period of time, but the new US government is not expected to completely withdraw from the region. Even if the US reduces its military presence, there is no doubt that it will strengthen its proxy force, PYD, or another group, because the defense of Israel is indispensable for the US political vision. With the situation like this, something was expected to happen, and it did. HTS. He launched Operation Radul Udvan against Aleppo on November 27, 2024, claiming that Russia and the Assad regime would hit the south of Idlib. The attack, which is thought to be US-backed, also received support from opposition groups supported by Turkey. Assad moved reinforcements to Aleppo and launched an airstrike on Idlib with Russian support. The message here was to Turkey, because the bombing of Idlib means the migration of 3.5 million people living here to Turkey. The information that Syrian artillery positions were silenced by Turkish-backed opposition is given between the lines. Assad, who was very weak without Iran and Russia, could not adequately respond to HTS's attacks. Critical points of the M4 and M5 highways and the west of Aleppo fell into the hands of HTS. The Syrian regime evacuates some areas and hands them over to PKK/PYD. It looks like Aleppo will change hands and there will be completely different showdowns. So, to whom did or will Aleppo fall? Is it HTS that says, "I am here," the USA and Israel that support it, or Turkey, as some claim? Another question: why did Turkey support such a work, despite the agreement between Russia? Or is it being blamed on Turkey to cause a rift between Turkey and Russia and Iran? Will the USA leave this place to HTS or prepare it for YPG? Assuming that Turkey is also involved, is the Ankara government's presence in Aleppo to prevent the Kurds from attacking there? Or is Turkey being deceived by its allies? Will the number of terrorist states in northern Turkey double? Or is the Iran-Israel tension completely fictional? Is Aleppo another stone that needs to be cleared on the energy corridor from Israel to Iran? There are dozens of questions like these. When this very unknown equation will be solved, when the pieces will fall into place, who will be the winner in Aleppo? We will see all of these in the coming days.